It is now time to reveal Corner Case's true purpose. That's right, the intention of all of our efforts in secret has been this entire time to revive Guild Ball, the game.
Friends of the channel know that we have been vocal on Corner Case about our love of Guild Ball. And a few videos ago, we talked about making a time capsule for games that we love, like X-Wing 1.0 and Guild Ball. And this is an update on my progress building said time capsule for Guild Ball. Let's go! Welcome to Corner Case. You're in the hobby corner. I'm your host. You're those who can't do, teach, and those who can't teach Jim, and your best friend, Deck. I decided for my Guild Ball time capsule that I wanted it to be like the most pointed Guild Ball experience possible for a new player. So that means having a pitch that really looks like the first party pitch and having models that may not follow the first party paint schemes 100%, but at least are based properly, like with flock and with the football hashing lines to really make that look like that pure Guild Ball experience. Partially, I mentioned this because my main faction was fish back then. Okay, first of all, these aren't just fishermen. These are fishermen on the river Styx. So they're like standing in these pools of blood with all the skulls and stuff. And you can see that the resin water effect for a lot of these guys coming up past their feet. And it just makes it not a good candidate for like repainting to the experience that I want. And not only that, but you know, I'm kind of nostalgic for them. So I don't really want to paint them because this was like my main faction, you know, like I went to games with this. I spent weeks playing these guys at a time, you know, so even though I entertained other factions, my main faction was fish. I had so much fun, like a shark team, like 2 goals on turn 1, then trying to snapshot with salt in turn 2, you know, a corsair back then. I heard he's better now, but back then the corsair, fangtooth, jack, hag team, just death ball, just go into the center of the pitch and nobody dies, but nobody gets to play either. So I can't repaint my fish team. I do think that fishermen are like a great starter team for people, so I may still offer it up if my victims seem really like they want to play the football part of the game. But they're not the perfect Guild Ball experience that I was looking for from a hobby aesthetic. But I do believe the Kickstarter was like Butchers versus Fish, which is like the most pointed like killing team and the most pointed shooting scoring team. So I still might. We'll see. So what teams do I have eligible? First is my alchemists team. So this was my second team. I was running the smoke gun line back then as like my for fun second army. It's like gun line, score a goal, then like vet cat, witness me, explosion. For the record, I really was not very good at Guild Ball, but I played enough, okay? So, Alchemist team, you can see here, I'm just going to post the sorry state that they are in. Now, I've already done some reparations on these models. They are not as bad as they were last week. They were on these really ugly resin bases. They were mostly not painted, but I have begun rebasing them and repainting them. The only one I actually had fully painted back then were 2 models, was Smoke because she was so sick, and Compound because Compound was just like such a thick boy. All right. So I just love painting the big surfaces, and that's why Compound here is the only one who was painted at the time that I had started building my time capsule. The other team is my Butchers team. So this was new in box. I bought this like towards the end of my Guild Ball time, and I never assembled them until last week. I finally started to assemble them. You can see the first model I decided to paint here was Boar. Now, Boar, oh my goodness, such a thick boy and so much fun to paint. Just if you've been watching the channel, you know I love painting the bigger models. You know, like I don't play 40K, but I am very, very tempted by like the oncoming tank spam. You know, I just love painting the big surface areas, and Boar has got it. This is one of the biggest models in the game in terms of just like the physical size. Okay, well, he's the biggest one in the Butchers, okay? Like every other team actually has like a bigger, chunkier boy, but Boar, biggest model on the Butcher's team. Great surface areas, loved painting all the musculature, the handlebar mustache. And like the knife is, you would expect that butchers keep sharp knives, but the way they sculpted all these butcher knives, with the exception of a few, are real chunky. Like this looks a little bit Flintstone to me, but so I painted it a little bit more Flintstone and a little bit less shiny looking in that NMM approach. And they're all scarred and stuff. They're thick. But a lot of YouTubers talk about this. A lot of painters talk about this. My favorite is Ninjon, of course, is how to keep up the momentum when painting miniatures. Yes, momentum is a Guild Ball joke. And I just love painting big models so much that Boar was the best kickoff, if you will. That's also a Guild Ball joke. The best Catalyst, that's also a Guild Ball joke. For those unfamiliar, Catalyst is the thickest boy on the Alchemist team. So that's like many layers to that joke. But Boar really got my hobby project time capsule going. Just got me so excited. And once I put that flock down on the base, my vision just really came alive in front of me, and I'm so excited now to execute. You can see I did a mix of yellow grass and green grass because I am a dog owner, so I am very familiar with what patches of good grass and urine grass look like. Next model that really got me going, I painted Tenderizer. Ooh, so cool, with the big meat pounder. You can see there's only 90% done. There are bits unpainted, but I'm really getting there. Went really shiny on the mask. Oh, so exciting. Worst model in the world to assemble though. You have to clamp on the arms, just force fit those arms onto the body. Usually when you assemble a metal model, you can kind of muscle all the parts into place, but Tenderizer was just so thick. There was no muscling Tenderizer. Tenderizer was muscling me. So there was, green stuff happened. A lot of green stuff happened. Thankfully, I think it doesn't really show up in the final paint job. I think it looks pretty sick, but rules aren't that cool for Tenderizer right now. Is kind of that goalie position, but he just looks so cool that, maybe against a football-y team, it kind of makes sense. If you're interested in the progress, keep up with the shorts. We'll be posting progress as we go. Next on the Alchemist team. So I did switch over really quick back to the Alchemists this weekend to try and get my kind of color situation down. For the Butchers, I think it was more straightforward because red isn't super polarizing, but Alchemists kind of want you to have that neon green quite a bit. So I was playing around with that because I have Hunters coming and they're kind of the forest green. So it was kind of like a balance. You have these two green armies. And so you kind of have to make one look high tech and you have to make one look grounded, but they both have to use that green motif. So I hopped on over to Alchemist to try and settle my color scheme. You can see here what I did with Catalyst. I decided, I realized that Guild Ball models are 5 flavors of leather on a model. You have leather this and leather that. And unless you're willing to really paint them all just the same brown, it gets really a lot of thinking. This was hurting my brain. So he's got the pants, he's got the boots, he's got the straps. Then he has 2 flavors of metal bits. He has the small metal bits, the big metal bits. Oh my gosh, there's just so much materials going on Catalyst. I'm kind of happy with where I ended up, but it's still looking really busy, especially compared to the first party paint jobs. And I was thinking, and I'll put it up on screen, I don't know if this is a first party paint job, but I think it is. I noticed they all highlight up to white rather than doing temperature shift, which is what I normally do. If I'm shading down, I shade down to purple. If I shade up, then I'm shading up to a yellowish, depending on what color I'm doing. So I'm always doing some kind of temperature shift. But when I look at these first party models, they all shift up to white in shade. So I think what that does is it desaturates the whole model and also kind of decreases the noise because everything is going to white. So you have pockets where it's just white. I don't know, but this model was kind of busy. So I thought I was going to love it and I did love painting it, but my end result I'm not super happy with. And so now I'm very quickly flatting all of my Alchemist models because I'm just not sure if they're going to look cool. A lot of these Alchemist sculpts too look really dated. I think the Butchers were kind of in a good spot because they're mostly just leather bits and flesh tones. But the Alchemists, I think Steamforged was trying to get them to look kind of office jobby, white collar scientist types. And so they have all these white shirts and patched together like kind of leathery armor kind of stuff, and it looks weird. It definitely looks kind of weird, and the scale makes it look weird too. So vitriol, I think, is the #1 offender. Like, what is this weird tunic she's wearing? But we're painting this now. We're having fun. We're definitely having fun. I'm having fun. Last update on paints is the balls. So I don't have goalpost ideas yet. In Guild Ball, everyone's got like a unique goalpost. But for the balls, I thought this was a fun butcher ball. It's got like the pig skin. It's got just like normal leather kind of look. It has like the cow skin. I thought that was like kind of fun. You got your beef, your pork, that's kind of your butcher aesthetic. And then for the alchemists, because like, I guess like historically alchemists were always trying to shift all of the chemicals into gold. So it kind of made this like golden ball. Like, does it make any sense? No, but like it looks cool. I think it looks pretty cool. So I think those opportunities in Guild Ball were for personalization were always really fun. So the balls, the goalposts, and Coyote over on the Discord mentioned that when he played, whenever possession would shift during game, he would switch to that team's ball. So I think that's kind of cool because otherwise you only get to see one ball, and it's like, if you put effort into painting them, you kind of want to see both. So maybe there'll be like a neutral ball. Oh, that's what I need. I need a neutral ball, then like each team's ball, and then that would be kind of sick. I do have goalpost ideas, but I don't want to spoil them yet. More to come, and I'll be offering them up. Anything I build in 3D, I'll be offering up to the community because why not? I mean, it's a dead game. Like, if you actually end up wanting a butcher's goalpost, like, you can have it. And my last conundrum in regards to my time capsule, and let me know what you guys think, but I feel like I really want to build like an actual table, so like a single 3x3 board instead of the neoprene mat. Like, I know that it's going to take up way more space. I might just hang it somewhere, but I think it's just going to look so much cooler when it's like really flocked, And Guild Ball is a type of game where you want to have that aesthetic where you frame it. I would probably frame a Guild Ball board. So that's one thing is I'm actually considering like, can I just go canvas, something simple like that. Can I actually do like a framed canvas and then just like paint and flock? And then I would do like minimal elevation changes, like really minimal elevation changes to show flat spots or something. And then scatter is a part of the game, so it wouldn't really be on there. But, what do you guys think? Should I just buy the neoprene mat or should I like make it? And I know this is YouTube, so everyone's gonna be like, oh, make it and then make a video about it. But like, really, what do you think makes sense? Like, does it actually make sense to have like an actual Guild Ball board that's not just like the neoprene mat? Like, it doesn't look as cool as other boards, is what I'm saying. So, I really do have a big confession to make, and that is that while I did play Guild Ball with regularity during Seasons 2 and Seasons 3 of Guild Ball, I didn't play it as much as I played Malifaux back then. Back then, I was playing Malifaux once, if not twice a week. I was going to tournaments for Malifaux at least once a month. I would drive out sometimes, I'd do the 2-hour drive to get to the tournament. And Guild Ball was kind of like my second game. And so when I think about the amount of nostalgia I have now for Guild Ball, obviously part of it is that it is dead. I can still play Malifaux. I still collect. I still paint Malifaux. And actually, like, the people I used to play Malifaux with are gone. But the people I used to play Guild Ball with are still around. And I think if I wanted to, they would still play Guild Ball with me. And when I think about the nostalgia that I have for this game, it definitely has a lot to do with those people. So even though I didn't play it as much as I played Malifaux, I wasn't as good at it because I wasn't putting in the hours. I was losing every time I was showing up towards the end of Season 3 there. I still have such a great nostalgia for it because the people were so good and I had such a great time playing it. So I'm obsessed with this game that I only played casually, but I can't help but think that this is relatable. This is like a relatable experience. We play these games because we love hanging out with people. And one last thing, actually useful topic. How do you get about playing Guild Ball now? Well, you have all of the resources you'd need for the Guild Ball community project up on Longshanks. So between Longshanks, Guild Ball playbook app, and the Discord for the Guild Ball community project, you have everything you need between the rules, the cards, why everything is the way it is now on those 3 resources. So I will link them in the description below, and maybe in a future update, I can walk through those in more specific, but I just wanted to share my hobby progress on this time capsule Guild Ball game. We'll be posting the painted minis also on shorts, so keep up with shorts, and for the minor updates, we'll be posting those as we go. Hope you had a good time with us here in the Hobby Corner. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much, so much to our Patreon supporters. It really means the world to us that you guys support what we are doing so that we can support the community, help us, help you to help us. Symbiotic relationship. Thank you, Patreon people. Thank you, Discord people, for always having a good time. I love logging on and talking to you guys. Again, please like and subscribe. We're always appreciative. See you next time. Bye-bye.
I am ready to subscribe again.